Here is a simple statement and a key question. Energy bills went up during the Ukraine crisis, that's clear. But did they go up by the right amount? In 2022 and 2023, during the Ukraine crisis, world gas prices rose sharply. It was clear that our energy bills were always going to rise. Typical bill forecasts by the energy regulator suggested a rise from around £1,200 at September 2021 levels to somewhere between £3,000 and £4,500. In fact, a typical household paid about £5,200 over the first 2 years, so around £2,600 a year. Now, here's a simple way of looking at it. If you take gas usage and apply prevailing wholesale gas costs, just as a rough guide, we calculate that bills should have risen by about £1,400, to a figure closer to about £3,800. This isn't exact, it just helps sense-check the scale of the resulting figures. That suggests a difference of around £1,400 per household over those 2 years. This doesn't mean anything was done wrong, but it does raise a question about how prices were calculated. Significantly, our energy bill isn't made up of just fuel cost. Before the crisis, fuel represented just a third of the bill. In fact, around 2/3 of energy company bill costs is comprised of network costs, core operating costs, policy costs, and more. But not all of these costs are linked to wholesale gas prices, so energy company, non-fuel cost elements should not have risen materially. Taking into account the predicted increases in wholesale gas costs and using our simple calculation of the impact on bills related to wholesale gas prices, it is difficult to reconcile the increase in fuel costs from £400 to £2,100 a year. In addition, as the bulk of operating costs are not directly linked to the increases in wholesale gas costs, it is likewise difficult to reconcile the increase from £800 to £1,300. We must ask, how are these increases justified by energy companies? Today, bills have come down, but not back to levels they were before the Ukraine crisis. From March this year, a typical bill is set to be around £1,750. However, by using our more simple estimate, they should be closer to £1,400, so part of that earlier increase may still be built into current bill costs. Prices are rising again, driven by global events, particularly in the Middle East, but the same pricing system is still in place. The key risk is this: short-term price spikes may be turned into longer-term bill assumptions, and that can overstate the underlying cost. So the bottom line is simple. Bills had to rise, and support was necessary. But the way gas prices were turned into bills may have increased costs more than necessary. And there's a risk that similar patterns could happen again.